What is up, you geezer, bloke tie geezers? It is Chris Marder9 here. Chelsea, with a 3-0 victory over Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup, safely through to round 5. Alright, so I thought tonight's game was a little slow to start off with. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit boring in the first half with all this same passing mechanic from Sarri ball that we've been seeing in previous games that hasn't gotten us anywhere. I'm looking at you, Ross Barkley, and Mateo Kovacic. We'll get to them in a moment. But thankfully, second half was a little bit better. There was a lot more intensity in the second half. A lot more goals being scored. People on the pitch suddenly coming out of their shell and actually scoring goals, which is what we wanted to see. But yeah, 3-0. I'm not going to lie, it was pretty solid. Fair enough result. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy today. There was no mess-ups at the back or anything like that. Sheffield Wednesday, despite the fact that they worked pretty hard, it was very tough for them to come over to Stamford Bridge and try to give us a game. They didn't really threaten too much. They had a few shots, and that was about it. We literally just had the game in the bag, pretty much, passing. That's pretty much all we did for a majority, about almost 2/3 of the game. So, first half was quite controversial when we thought we'd conceded a penalty from Ampadu. It wasn't a penalty. There was no contact. Ampadu was actually trying to get the ball. Referee wrongly gave a penalty, but VAR thankfully overturned the penalty for Sheffield Wednesday. And then about a couple of minutes later, we go up the other end. VAR is used again, and we get a penalty at the other end. Willian finishes it off. But that was about it for the first half. I mean, there's players in that first half that I want to address. Mateo Kovacic and Ross Barkley. Okay, so let's just make clear here that both Kovacic and Barkley played better as the game went on. But at the beginning, Barkley and Kovacic, I was expecting a lot better from them. Especially when, you know, you've got somebody up front. Let's not forget, by the way, we've got a debutant up front, Gonzalo Higuain. First taste in English football. He didn't put a foot wrong today, Higuain, despite not scoring. I think he got in good positions. He received the ball in good positions as well. Finished relatively well, even though it wasn't in the goal, but it was a good opportunity for him. But going back to Barkley and Kovacic, they were sloppy. They were very, very sloppy in very integral parts of the game. I mean, they had a lot of space. Barkley, especially, I found that he was misplacing a lot of passes. And this was the same guy. If I remember mentioning this in the previous video, I did say this was the same guy that we saw at the beginning of the season who took the time out to study Sarri's way of playing and doing his absolute best to force his way into that first team and doing the absolute best he can to fit in. I think it just goes to show that he just has a lot to learn, and I don't think he's at that right time of his Chelsea career where he can totally say that he deserves that first spot. He's got a lot of work to do. There are players in that team that should be starting over him, like, you know, Kante, Jorginho, okay. I mean, Jorginho is completely different. He has a different role to Barkley, so I fear that Jorginho and Barkley shouldn't really be spoken in the same sentence. But Kante, and I even think Loftus-Cheek is better than Barkley, to be fair, because when Loftus-Cheek came on, there was a little bit more intensity in our midfield. I think he combined very, very well, especially with Hudson-Odoi, who scored the second goal of the game. Now, is that Hudson-Odoi's final game? Is that Hudson-Odoi's final goal that he'll ever score for Chelsea? Is he going to Bayern Munich? He has handed in a transfer request, but that doesn't mean to say he'll definitely go. Hudson-Odoi is technically still our player. We can do whatever the hell we want with him. We can decide that he stays. Despite the transfer request, we can dismiss it. We can up the price. So, you know, even though that Hudson-Odoi scored today, we could potentially up his price. So Bayern Munich may have to go in with another offer to try and get him. But then there's that thing where if Bayern Munich try to make a bigger bid for Hudson-Odoi, say like, suddenly they offer him like 60 million. You know what I mean? Like, Hudson-Odoi, there was something that Ruud Gullit said at the end of the game. Is he going to be guaranteed a starting spot at Bayern Munich? That's the thing. Yes, okay, Bayern Munich's wingers are aging as well, so obviously they need a replacement. But the fact is that Hudson-Odoi could be going into Bayern Munich with a indication that he's going to get first team chances at Bayern Munich the minute he walks in. I don't think that's possible for him. I mean, I know that seems a bit weird because he does have the potential. I mean, I don't want Hudson-Odoi to leave, but you know, it's in Hudson-Odoi's hands. He said in the interview, you don't know what's going to happen. He just keeps working hard. That's what the interview asked of him, whether or not he's going to Bayern Munich or not. That's what he responded to. You can take that response with a pinch of salt. I mean, there's still a possibility he could stay. There's still a possibility he could still leave for Bayern Munich, but you don't know. You don't know yet. But going back to the game, because I'm completely sidetracked here. I thought Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi worked very well. I thought there was a fantastic combination. Well, another reason why I want Hudson-Odoi to stay, because, you know, he will work well with fellow people that are English. You know, that's what we need. But, you know. So going back to what I was saying about Gonzalo Higuain. He had a good debut. I thought he had a very good debut, despite not scoring. But the problem was for him is that he wasn't given the service from either Kovacic or Barkley, because neither of them contributed to anything going forward in the first half in particular. Second half, of course, we did see a bit of Gonzalo Higuain linking up play. I already think that he's better than Morata because he does more. He does more in contribution to going forward. He passes the ball out wide to give him an opportunity for a winger to cross it in to give him a chance. A la Hudson-Odoi, a la Willian. Speaking of Willian, by the way, a lot of people have been saying, you know, giving him a lot of stick, you know, in recent time because he's been underperforming. He had a good game today, Willian. I think he had a fantastic game. He scored the penalty in the first half. He had a lot of space on the left-hand side, and I think that's probably because of the fact that Sheffield Wednesday, as the game went on, were tiring out, and Willian had plenty of space to do whatever he wanted. The second goal he scored was fantastic, linking up well with Olivier Giroud. I mean, Olivier Giroud, he's more of a playmaker than he is a striker, isn't he, at the moment? I mean, you know, he links up play very, very well. We've been seeing this the exact same with Eden Hazard quite recently. Not fairly recently, but in some games where Hazard has played and Giroud has been up front, we've seen Hazard and Giroud link up play. And, well, it was the exact same with Willian and Giroud today. So that was good. Overall, I think it was pretty easy. It was a pretty easy passage through to round 5. Sheffield Wednesday didn't really threaten us too much. They didn't really do anything going forward. They had a few shots. They came in to take a few shots. That was it. But like Mark Lawrenson said on the BBC, he said it was a fair, valiant effort for Sheffield Wednesday. They worked very hard. But, you know, going to Stamford Bridge to get a result, very, very difficult, to put it in the same words as Mark Lawrenson. Yeah, I just thought we had way too much for them. But there are players that just were below par today. I'm looking at you, Barkley. I'm looking at you, Kovacic. You know, you deserve a little bit better. And Padu, inexperience showed in his performance, I think. It wasn't his best performance today. I thought he struggled in the midfield. Especially when you're required to play as a regista, you know, in Jorginho's role. He's got a lot to work on. Definitely got a lot to work on. You know, obviously, like I say, inexperience. It will come over time. He's still young. He's got an opportunity to work and work and work and understand the way of Sarri's play. And speaking of Sarri, this whole passing mechanic is boring to watch at times. It really is. I just get so frustrated when all we do is pass and pass and pass. And it just doesn't stick. It really doesn't. The group of players that we have, it just doesn't fit for my liking. I think Sarri needs to go away and try and find, at least go out of your way to try and find a plan B. Even if Sarri ball doesn't work, and well, it looks like it's not working, about 50% of the time it does work, a la the idea of the second half being a bit more intense. But, you know, when you've got a group of players that are struggling to get to grips with your style of play, you need to step it up. You need to get a more of a, like I say, a plan B. And I think that's what Sarri needs to go away and do. Because we've got some tough games coming up. We've still got to play Man United. We've still got to play Man City. We've still got to play Liverpool. we have a very, very tough fixture list coming up. You know, compared to other teams around us, we have got a very tough fixture list. And, well, if you're going to continue to play the same philosophy over and over again, and you've got the same players trying to get to grips with it and they're still struggling, we are going to suffer later on. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to sound negative today. I mean, I know I've sounded a little bit negative, but, you know, criticism comes at a good time where players need it at the end of the day. So yeah, Higuain, good debut. I can't fault him. I mean, he didn't get the service because of Barkley and Kovacic. They underperformed in the first half. Stepped it up in the second half, but you know, you need to have players that are going to do it all game. Willian played a good game. Hudson-Odoi did okay. He did alright. Scored a great goal. Worked well with players like Loftus-Cheek. Is that his last game? We don't know yet. Is he going to Bayern Munich? We don't know yet. Is he staying at Chelsea? We don't know yet. Defence didn't do that much. Caballero didn't do too much. Yeah, it was an easy passage through, and I'm happy with that. And, well, it's even better when you know that Arsenal and Spurs are both out against Man United and Crystal Palace, respectively. So, there's even more to celebrate about. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been a good weekend. Arsenal and Spurs losing, Chelsea going through. It's been a good weekend in the FA Cup. So we don't know who we got next, so we've got to find that out a little bit later on. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. It was a pretty easy passage, really, wasn't it? But, you know, there are some players on the pitch that you kind of expect more from. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Next game, I do believe, is against Bournemouth. I could be wrong. Bournemouth away from home. I need to check it out. I need to check my phone. Where is my phone? Right, so according to my phone, as you can see, right here, tomorrow we have the FA Cup 5th round draw. And then on Wednesday we have Bournemouth versus Chelsea. And on Saturday, 2nd of February, we have Chelsea versus Huddersfield. So, yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a calendar with all the Chelsea fixtures on it. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, those are all the fixtures coming up. I've also got other bits and pieces like the Six Nations. I don't know why I've got that. You know, I've even got the FA Cup 5th round draw in my calendar. And don't ask me why, but WWE Royal Rumble. I don't know why that's on there. You can see that. Look, see, check it out there. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe it's just me. But there you go. Yeah, I don't know why WWE Royal Rumble is on there. But yeah, anyway. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Next game is against Bournemouth, and then after that it's Huddersfield at home. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Until the next video, I shall see you later. Hey, door, and peace.